Okay, now after using the DJI Osmo Nano for the last few weeks, we honestly think this might be one of the most fun cameras that DJI has probably ever made. It's been out for a while, but this is still very much the camera to get if you want simplicity. Okay, so what is the DJI Osmo Nano? It's basically DJI's answer to creators who want something smaller, lighter, and easier to use than a traditional action camera. And what makes this interesting isn't just the size, it's the kind of shots that you can suddenly get because the camera is this tiny. You can wear it on your chest like this. Ta-da. Or you can mount it to random objects, stick it on metal surfaces, throw it in your pocket and capture moments you could never pull out a full camera for. Now, when I first opened this thing, my immediate reaction was honestly, no way this little tiny camera gets good video. It's ridiculously small, like smaller than you might expect, especially when you take it off this camera dock that you get with it, and more on this in a bit later. But the build quality actually feels really premium. The magnets are super strong, the buttons are clicky, and it's right up there with DJI's other high-end products. So what's the biggest difference between the Osmo Nano and something like the GoPro? If I'm honest, I think it's how effortless this feels to use. At first glance, you might think it looks complicated having these two things, but the fact that you can detach this and attach anywhere, this is where the beauty lies. So with most action cameras, you need to grab extra mounts, straps, cages, accessories, and things like this. With this, you can literally clip it onto anything magnetic, any way round. I've even got a little chest mount here, and you can see I can attach it to myself like that for quick POV shots. And you're good to go. It's as easy as that. But let's talk about that image quality, because this is where I was genuinely surprised. The Nano is packing a 1/1.3-inch CMOS sensor, which is a seriously capable lens, especially for something of this size. That gives you sharp 4K footage up to 50 and 60 frames per second with really nice colors straight out of the camera. And if you want to slow down even further, you can shoot 4K up to 120 frames per second. And you've also got D-Log-M, which is really handy if you want to color grade your footage in post to get it matching your other cameras. Now, talking of D-Log-M, if you drastically want to improve your Osmo Nano footage, check out the Editor's Keys LUT pack specifically designed for D-Log-M. You simply drag in your footage to your favorite video editing program, maybe Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, CapCut, whatever you use. Drag and drop one of these LUTs on top and you can get footage that looks just like this. This is going to transform your footage to truly looking cinematic. It's really easy to use, and you can also adjust the intensity of each LUT. So if you want to grab one of these LUTs, check out the link in or around this video, or if you're watching on TV, scan the QR code in the corner of the screen, and that will take you directly to the product page. But now back on to the camera, and the dynamic range is where it really impressed me actually. DJI are claiming 13.5 stops, and honestly, that tracks with what I've been seeing. And remember, I've had the Osmo Action 4, 5, and 6, and I also have the DJI Pocket cameras as well. I'm just seeing that highlights aren't being blown out, shadows still have detail, and it's not far off what you would get on the very latest Osmo Action cameras, which cost considerably more and are a little bit bigger than this as well. For low light, there's a super night mode that applies noise reduction to the camera, and that helps quite a lot actually when the light drops if you want to use this at night. Now, this isn't a camera that I would specifically use for nighttime shooting. I do think the Action 6 or specifically the DJI Pocket 4 takes that to the next level, but you can still use this in low light situations. Now, the stabilization, honestly, crazy for something this size. We were walking and biking and the footage still looks smooth and natural, which is impressive when the camera is getting thrown around, especially if you have it on a shirt like this and it's just being dragged left and right. You will notice a little bit of wobble when you're kind of on a bike, but if you're walking around and you're trying to get driving shots or POV shots, walking at a steady angle and a pace, you're going to get some really nice looking footage from this. You can also get a cap mount which comes in the box and you can stick it on your cap if you want a POV shot slightly higher up at more of an eye height. So of course DJI has rock steady built into this camera. There's also horizon balancing as well. And if you haven't seen that before, what it does, it keeps your footage level even if the camera tilts up to 30 degrees either way. So, you know, essentially a lot of other cameras, as soon as you tilt, obviously the camera is going to tilt like this. You can tilt and the footage is still going to stay nice and straight for your viewer. Super handy if you are doing those car videos, if you're doing biking videos, even if you're running, to be honest, and you're kind of, you know, shifting your body like this is going to keep that horizon nice and straight. And this is where DJI, I think, really dominates. Their stabilization software is seriously impressive and probably, I think, still the best in the market right now. Okay, so I think probably one of the most popular ways to use the Nano is going to be this. It's the chest POV shot, and it truly feels really immersive. It almost looks like a first-person video game, and as I say, you can mount it to your cap as well. But what it does, it means it frees up your hands. So even if you're not trying to do it from a cinematic point of view, you know, you can use this practically. If you're maybe trying to show something that you're making, if you're driving and you want to use both hands, you can still get POV shots and you don't have to hold a tripod. I think it's actually really good. And how this is working, by the way, you can see it's magnetically attaching. This comes in the box. So I've got this magnetic necklace on here that comes with the combo that we've got here. And that just attaches vertically or horizontally like that. And you're good to go. It's that easy, and this magnet is super strong. You really have to pull it so it's not going to come off you know, as you're walking down the street. And because this camera is so small, you can really hold this low to the ground as well without it feeling too awkward. So if you want to get shots underneath your car, you can do things like that. And this instantly is going to make your footage look way more cinematic when you kind of capture those angles that you can't get with any other camera. The magnetic mounting system is honestly one of the coolest parts of this whole system. I started sticking this onto random things like the air conditioning unit above my head, bits of the door, the shelving unit here, and just to see what shots I could get really, and you can really get some creative shots. Okay, next up, audio. The built-in microphones are actually decent for quick clips. I would actually be happy to vlog with this if I want to keep my setup nice and small. And look at this, this could be your entire video audio setup. But if you're serious about content creation, you'll probably want to get an external mic. And the DJI Mic Mini series that we recently reviewed pairs really well with that. So you can always pair one of those DJI Mic Minis with this. And if you want to see our full review on the DJI Mic Mini, I'll put a link in or around this video, or you can check it out on the channel. I've done my surf for the morning. I'm just gonna have a little 5-minute swim before we head back and get ready for work. A little choppy, but there's nothing like a morning dip. Now let's talk battery life, because this is where the dock part really matters. And I think a lot of people misunderstand how this system works. So the camera itself has 530 milliamp hour battery built into it. And on its own, you're looking at around 90 minutes if you're shooting in 1080p, but that's going to drop down quite a bit if you're shooting at 4K 60 frames a second, which I think is what a lot of people will be doing with this kind of camera. And we found that we get around 35 minutes of battery life just with the camera itself. So if you're filming all day, you definitely start to feel it, and you may need to take a little battery pack around with you. But that's also where this multifunctional Vision dock changes things as well. The dock has its own 1300 milliamp battery, and when the camera is docked, you can dock it either way round. The two work together to push the total recording time up to 200 minutes, and that's over 3 hours. So as long as you take this with you, you're going to be good for pretty much, I think, a full day's worth of shooting. But the dock isn't just a battery pack. It also gives you a screen here. Let me just turn the camera on. It gives you a screen here for framing and viewing your footage. And again, this is just one of the whole bits of the package that I didn't underestimate was so cool. So if you can see that there, you can see that? So you can see me now. You can use it as a remote viewer. So you can use it as a USB-C port for charging. It can operate wirelessly up to 10 meters away from the camera. And it's like the camera's control hub. So I've been using this in the car. I've put it up in the corner of the car. And when you're driving, obviously, normally if I'm using a GoPro or my Osmo Action or Pocket 4, I have to kind of reach over unless I'm using the mobile app. And often what you'll find is you end up just stopping your car and you adjust the settings and you get recording again. What you can do with this, you can leave this next to you so you can quickly start and stop recording. Or, you know, like I had this on the roof, not on the roof, but on the air conditioning unit above me. I would have to get a ladder to adjust the settings. Instead, I can just pop this on the desk and I can get to those settings quickly, change the settings I want, and start filming again. Now, there's one thing worth knowing. If you are shooting at the higher settings like 4K, 60 frames per second, battery life will be shorter than some of those headline figures. There's also an endurance mode actually that squeezes roughly an extra 10 minutes out of 4K 60 frames per second sessions, which is a nice touch. So who is this camera actually for? I think if you travel a lot, this thing is perfect. For cyclists and runners, the lightweight design is a huge advantage. If you make TikToks or Reels, it makes content creation ridiculously easy. I mean, think about this. You could throw this in your bag, you could throw it in your pocket and create content wherever you want. And because of that magnetic back, you'll often find posts and things all around the place where you don't necessarily even need to take a tripod sometimes to get those full shots of yourself. So that's really cool. And honestly, I just think this might be the best always carry camera that DJI or pretty much anyone has ever made. We recently reviewed the Insta360 Go, and the image quality coming out of this, in my opinion, is a lot better than that. So now for the downsides. Like a lot of tiny cameras, overheating can happen during longer recording sessions. The screen is usable and it's fine, but it's definitely a little bit cramped compared to my Action 6. And while super night mode helps in low light, it still doesn't compete with larger cameras, especially the DJI Pocket 4, which I absolutely love. And of course, depending on the accessories you pick up, the total price can rack up a little bit, but that's the thing with accessories, you buy the things that you want. But here's the thing, this camera made me want to film more, and honestly, that matters more than anything on a spec sheet. The DJI Osmo Nano isn't trying to replace professional cameras. I think it's just trying to make filming effortless, and it succeeds. So would I recommend it? Yeah, to be honest, especially if you love those POV shots, which I know a lot of people try and get. If you love travel videos, if you just like getting action clips, or you want to create content without carrying a huge setup, I think this could be the camera for you. So if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. I'm testing more creative tech like this very soon. And we've got a few new cameras coming from DJI as well, including the Pocket 4 Pro, which we're currently doing a bit of background recording, and we can't wait to show you what that camera can do. So I want to know, comment below, what is the craziest place that you would mount this camera? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.